Hi, welcome to the sixth chapter. Here we'll talk in a bit of everything we talked before, like checks, captures, threats, which will opponent's next move, and also a bit of prophylaxis and a bit of patterns, yeah? But more in the context of games. And first of all, I want to show you that you can do it as well. What do I mean by that? That positions that are difficult, that apparently nothing is happening, there are possible for you as well. Also, I would use this chapter in order to give you the sense of direction, which is something very important in chess. And it's an abstract concept about dynamics, about captures, threats, mates. Like, basically, if you see the weak king, okay, you want to approach that. But also, I want to emphasize on the fact of trying, yeah? And the fact of defying this resistance. Like, okay, no, I cannot do this because I lose this piece. I cannot do this. This is very advanced. But I want to do this example as a way for you to try to walk you by the hand. But the point is for you to see that it's possible, it's feasible if you're disciplined. So it's some kind of, you will see what you can achieve. Yeah? So basically this is a position that white just took the knight and now is ready to castle. Yeah? And I use this position from the Benoni, yeah, with h3. That is a very unbalanced position. As a great example that if you are disciplined with calculation, you find all the moves. Yeah? And the point is that white here has many moves. Yeah? Here the best move, I mean, if you want to stop, you want to try it on your own, but this is super difficult. I don't think the point is for you to calculate this. The point is which move does white does. Can white castle? Yeah. And and after castle, the point is we shuffle to black. And now black, we will be applying chess-club threats. So feel free to, every time I make a move, and black and white makes a move, to stop and think, okay, what's the move I need to play? And let's see if at the end of the day, of the puzzle, you actually find the complete solution. Yeah? So we start with threats. I mean, can we really threat anything? Yeah, the only weak piece is this pawn. Yeah, so basically we do the rook. We do it with the rook instead of the queen because the rook has easier chances to take, and then the queen has more usable squares. That's a very interesting concept, that the rook will go here no matter what. The queen might be destined to something else. And also the queen is defending this pawn, so the queen has other functions here. So white plays this move. Why? Because if in reality, this is, again, that's why this is advanced. White usually wants to reroute this knight to put it here and to pressure the weakness from our opponent. So if the queen were to go here to defend the pawn, then this would be impossible. Yeah. So basically, you would be putting some kind of stop on your plan. And if you want to defend the rook, then this move will be very annoying. Yeah, we threaten the rook, and then there's no way. So queen c2 is the move. So now what can we do? Have you thought of the move? Yeah, we do the threat. We just do it. We threaten the queen. Yeah. And now, again, the queen doesn't want to go here. Otherwise, the plan is kind of busted. And white has a hard time progressing. So white does this and that's like, okay, I have two pieces defending. What are you doing? So what do we do now? Of course, we take. We do the capture. It's the first move we need to consider. We don't know what's going on. Yeah. And our opponent retakes. Yeah. And now, okay, if we were to take here, after taking here, white has a piece up and nothing really is happening, yeah? But again, we have two captures, yeah? And in this case, we have this one as the extra one. This is more relevant because now we are threatening a queen, so we are forcing white to do something more concrete than instead of, for instance, let's compare it to this one, no? Because this strictly is also two captures, but here white has 1,000 moves that are possible because there is no real threat. Yeah? But in this case, we have a queen that needs to be defending a knight that is pinned. Also, we have a rook that is defended by a super strong bishop. Yeah? And now we go for queen d3. Yeah, the queen defense here. And now what do we do? I'm pretty sure here instinctively you have chosen the move rook e8. Because, yeah, you put pressure into the pin. But after rook a1, I mean, white is much, much better. Yeah? The point here is that the move is actually taking. Keep doing the captures. Yeah, just try it. Yeah, that's the point. Now white takes with the queen. here what do we do? And also here, I feel pretty confident that most of you have thought of rook e8 first. Yeah. But the problem with rook e8 is that white has so many moves, like so many moves that are possible, and even counterattack. Yeah. And white gets somewhat of an safe spot in most of them. Yeah. So here there is another threat that is more relevant that you should have checked first. Why? This one. Why? For many reasons. Now we are threatening the rook. It's a double threat, like a double check or something like that. And also the queen doesn't have that much freedom because the bishop is hanging after it. So after queen e3, what do we do? Again, I feel you might have been tempted to play rook e8 and threaten the queen. But no, we do the capture because the capture goes before the threat, right? Now, the rook captures. And here again, you want to play rook e8 so bad. I'm pretty sure, but no. We do the threat that is a double threat. And we just win. And the point is, this is all forced. There is no secret here. Yeah, this is also a game of a very talented kid here from Spain, and I was really cool because this I would use this puzzle for students to show them that okay, this is very important. And he actually found it over the board, so that was super cool, all the way. And yeah, you imagine like now that okay, it's reasonable to say that castle is wrong, but it's very difficult. There's so many components. So the more disciplined you are in the most basic component, the more you have potential to actually grow, add repertoire, add tactics, add endgames, add more strategic knowledge. Yeah. The more you are consistent with your calculation, consistent with the captures, the threats, the checks, and also the prophylaxis in this sense, I'd say this goes the best for you. Yeah. So see, was it hard? I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel. I use it even with 1600 this puzzle. Like, not because it's easy or hard, but because I feel it's very instructive. That it's very rewarding, and you can actually discover such hard positions, such a hard puzzles to solve if you are more disciplined. Yeah? So let's go to the next one. Here we have a game of mine. It's from 2007, I think. Yeah, I was 16, 15. And this is a Spanish championship. And basically, I was leading the tournament under 16. And here my opponent played rook c2, and we repeated. Yeah, basically. And this is a bit of silly repetition because white can move the knight back, and but okay, that's not the point. The point is I'm a piece down, but you can see that it doesn't matter that much. Why? Because I have the turn again, and I have all my pieces pointing to the king, and the king is somewhat relatively unsafe. Yeah, and here, if you want to stop and think for yourself, I have a really cool pattern that I didn't even realize, but it's such. When I saw after the game, I was like, wow, okay. And this is a practical example of you always need to be ready. In games, it's very difficult. The most important thing I want to say here, you need to be ready for shining. Any position, suddenly, this is more, let's say, contextual position. What do I mean by that? That this position you are expected that something is happening. No, that you are ready to expect it. No, like okay, everything is open. My king is weak. The king is weak. There are no pawns. This knight is in the middle of something. Here, for instance, I cannot take the knight because this would be painful for me. Yeah, because this check. Suddenly, my king realized that all the pieces for white are also creating havoc here. So the point here is that black has this super cool move, which is rook a1 first. Now we take. And now we do check. White needs to cover, otherwise we take here. And now we take here. We give both rooks, and after taking on c1, we play e4. Do you remember the second puzzle we did here? Maybe you took the course in like different days or something. But one of the first puzzles we saw it was one that white had the bishop here, the queen here, both rooks here, and basically take out the rooks and then create a mate. You realize how the same pattern basically works here, but in a super different environment. Like, it turns out that the queen happens to be covering the most relevant check. And also, if white tries to check here, doesn't matter. I mean, white needs to give up material, and we have like a queen in exchange of a knight, a queen and 2 pawns in exchange of a knight and a rook. And the funniest thing is that here, what's a problem? Like, white cannot prevent the mate. There is queen a1 as a threat. White cannot put pieces in the middle that cannot be taken. I mean, I can take everything. And also knight c2, which is preventing the mate, allows the other one because it covers the rook. Yeah? This is such a cool miss, but it's a way to show you that the more you are used to that, I mean, I was 2400 here, 23 FIDE already, 23, 24, I guess. And, or maybe 20, well, it doesn't matter. The point is, much stronger likely than you. I don't know who's watching here. I don't want to assume you're ill nowadays. But the point is, you can always improve on that. And I keep trying, I keep learning, I'm going to an academy, and that's the point I want to make. Yeah, the more you do it, the more you do it at the beginning, the more you will get rewarded. Yeah, and man, it was a pity to miss this one. So let's go for the next one. And here we're going to cover a topic that we more or less got in the first game, but it's the sense of direction. Yeah, the understanding what's going on here. So this is a very strange position. I'm going to touch slightly some strategic motives, but let's briefly check it. White has a bishop pair, but the position is somewhat closed. This is a strategic concept, like, okay, the bishop pair shines when the position is open because the diagonals can be controlled from far away. And then black has somewhat of a nice structure considering the bishop, yeah, like all pawns on the white squares and then the black bishop. But then the knights are a bit stuck here, and black wishes to castle and then move the knights away. Yeah, and move the knights away, and then castle. Yeah, that would be the goal. But here black played c5. And here is like, wait, but you need 3 tempo to castle. Like, at least, no? Get out the knights and then castle. And you are opening the center. This is a thematical break because we have some kind of a pawn chain. I mean, there are a lot of concepts here. Don't mind if you don't completely get it, but it's more or less sense of direction I want to give you. That's a sense you will be looking for in some aspect. You will have some kind of a small goal. Yeah. And in this case, what's the goal? You know you are structurally worse, but you know you have all the pieces like pointing to the king. Like the bishop, the knight here is aggressive, the queen, the rook, everything. Yeah. So opening the position is great for you. So you take. And if black says, okay, I take with the queen, and the point is, if I exchange queens, now I can do this simply. And since I exchange the queens, there is not such a danger into my position. Yeah. But here this position is completely losing for black, and it's difficult. It's a difficult puzzle. I won't say it's hard. It's easy. So, because here black has some kind of battery. So, and the move is bishop a6. What do I mean by that? Here already it will feel sketchy to give up this pawn, but doesn't matter. And the point is, black has all the pieces on the back. They're like not doing anything. And basically that's a direction, that's the sense I want to give you. Like, okay, if I do something quickly, maybe it works. That's how grandmasters, that's how international masters, like how the people that improve in chess, I would say, apply constantly. Yeah? How can I get to the king? Yeah. And here bishop a6 is a way to threaten the rook and also freeing the column. And you suddenly realize that there is some kind of pattern hidden here. Yeah. You realize that you have some kind of coordination. You're opening, I mean, black is getting very tricky in this position. Yeah. And here, if black thinks, okay, I'm going to exchange, that would be great. No. And here intuitively we'll be taken with the rook, and black is more or less fine here. But here, and the knights will come. But here the point is that our goal was to not allow black to castle. So here the move is to do the check. Again, if we do checks, captures and threats, this move would be very easy. But mentally, this is super hard to make. It is super hard to not consider retaking a queen. To do a check that, okay, black can cover. What's going on? Why is this so relevant? Because here, again, our goal is to break the center open. So we have some kind of sense of direction. And here we realize that taking with the pawn, which is usually counterintuitive as we lose this pawn, it's a great source. And here, black is completely busted because all the pieces are playing for white. And here, in case of taking, we destroy completely the center. We sacrifice a piece, and suddenly there you have this strategic team as the pin and also the double threat. Yeah, both pieces are in the air, so we will take one of them. And white is completely winning because the pieces are not still yet coming into play. So this is a hard puzzle, but I don't wanna focus you like, oh, I did solve it, I did not. Was very affordable. No, the point is direction. Yeah, and here I'm gonna show you some lines. I mean, feel free to pause when you feel like if you want to solve it on your own. But for instance, if black just stays here, we just play queen e2, and for instance, super hard pattern here would be like we do the check here. Why we do queen e2? Because we want to make a check. Yeah, we want to keep the king in the center. We want to keep threatening, and we don't want to exchange queens in this case. Yeah, and now we do a check, and now we do a capture that we don't know what's going on, and then we do a threat to the queen, going back with the bishop. This is super hard. And then after d4, that's the only way for the queen to move, and then queen d5. Now bishop b6, and we are demolishing the position because black cannot castle or lose so much material. Again, this is far away, far harder than what you would be seeing, but I want to use this course to give you a glance of the sense of direction. Yeah. Like, okay, I'm going to the king, I'm going to bring pieces, I'm going to try moves, like try everything before black is castling. Black is castling one move. Let's try. Might work, yeah? And here I want to end up in a really cool move, which is if black takes with the rook, we are like, oh shit, we cannot access this square. But here, again, the point, you're realizing, okay, we have this pattern. Let's try to focus on opening the d-file no matter what. And you realize this is such a beautiful move. I let you think, of course. Feel free to pause. I talk too fast, so pause quickly. Which is bishop c4. And wow, this move is insane. Like, I mean, this idea is super cool. Like, black cannot take, because now we can take the rook, and suddenly the queen is somewhat overprotecting everything, like too busy. And in case of rook takes, we take the queen. And the point is, if black tries to defend, we just sacrifice all the way. Yeah, we give it, like, for instance, here we give it the knight, and then after taking, we more or less we give out the bishop. Like, the bishop is just a means of destructing the center, and then we push the pawn, and this is completely winning. Yeah, you can toy around this game, like, feel free to pick up the board and play around it. Don't try to get too busy with finding the best moves. Just try this madness of a position. I would do it so often at home with random positions I would create on my own, and this was very rewarding because you get this sense of imagination, this direction. Yeah, and I want to finish with one game that so next time that you kind of do a strategic breakup, you would realize, like, okay, maybe let's just get to save king safety. And the last game is one of a really cool one I have, and I want to show you just we are not gonna check it in depth, but basically we're gonna see that I played this. We're gonna see a good example of what I mean by direction, and also a good example. I want you something to have in mind is that the hard part about calculation is that when you train it, you are expecting it. But when you are playing a game, you are distracted of all the things you need to consider in a game, strategical things like weaknesses, all the stuff. So it's very hard. You need to do a lot of stuff and also think of checks, counter threats, and what's my opponent's next move, and all these things that Alvar says. So we played a Catalan, and I'm known of being a Catalan player. My opponent played, okay, it doesn't matter, a strange line. I don't want to exchange the queens, at least in their terms, because it will fix the structure. Doesn't matter, let's go over it. We defend the center, and black tries to play funny. Black wants to play this breakup in order to open the bishop and get some space in the center. I don't allow it, so I have some break here. And now I play e4, and black has some troubles with the queen, so it goes back here. And now black intelligence says, okay, let's better get out of here. So we have some space, but here after queen a4 is a really cool move because black is threatening this pawn. And my knight is super awkward, and suddenly I cannot kick the queen. The queen is also pressuring here. If I move the knight, You can take here, like out of nowhere, like with all the pieces like packed together here. Black has a tactic that is working. Yeah, that's the first thing I want you to make. And here I play e5. Yeah, because I cannot move the knight, so I can do a threat. Yeah, and then I play knight e4. And here black plays knight a5. What's the problem here? We have so many weaknesses in the light squares. Suddenly the bishop is coming, the knight is coming, and basically black has the bishop defending. But again, if you have been paying attention, you'd see that, okay, but black has too many pieces on the queen side. Yeah. Here I realized, and I play knight g5. And now like in a tennis game, right? We were paying attention on the queen side the whole game. But now you move your head and you see the other flank and you're like, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, maybe 6, yeah, potentially. And here black plays h6 a bit carelessly. And again, I insist on that game about Kasparov-Karpov because it's what inspired me to just try. Like, what if I sacrifice? Like, the king is very weak, only has one defender, and I have so many pieces. And now another sacrifice. Yeah, and now black didn't take, and I'm gonna show you what happened. If black take here, I thought for queen h5, and if the king stays here, the third sacrifice. And if you were to take, the fourth piece comes into the action, and this is a mating pattern. Like, I'm threatening check, bishop here, and black cannot really stop it. I'm 3 pieces down, 3, but black is helpless. Like, all the pieces are super awkward. Yeah. And I'm 3 pieces down, but this is not helping, this is not helping, this is not helping, this is not helping. And in my case, these 2 are not helping. So basically it's kind of these 3 pieces, no, against my 2. But so I have material advantage, yeah? And I have the momentum. And this is completely winning, yeah? So my opponent actually didn't take it. And here, basically I'm a piece down, but black is super awkward. Yeah, black somehow has a weak king and try to, give some material in exchange of bringing the king a bit to safety. But now I capitalize on the fact that these pieces are so awkward. So if the knight goes here, the queen is completely trapped. And he tried to do some kind of tricks here. And now double attack, yeah, threatening the queen and the rook after sacrifice. I mean, and I do some intermediate check, yeah, intermezzo that we talked about. A second intermezzo, and now the point is, after sacrificing a piece, I'm taking the full rook. Yeah, so, and now take the rook, move the queen away, and now I play this really cool move, because now the queen is defending the bishop, so I kind of put an intermission to it. After you take, I destroy the last defender, which is the rook, and thanks to me playing b5 before, now I can pass the rook and do the checkmate. So you see, the amount of themes that this game has gone for, like so many strategic, and we didn't even cover the strategical themes. That's the point, yeah? So chess is very complicated. That's the main take I want to give you in this chapter. There are so many things to take into account. But basically, if you are consistent doing puzzles with checks, captures, threats, what's my next move, learning the patterns, and finally, trying to put it on a game, which is the hardest part, trying to see it in a game, try to not get distracted, like, okay, I need also to think about development, my king needs to be castled, and my opponent is trending something, I'm lacking time, like, it's very stressful, yeah? So these examples of this chapter are especially to see, for make you to see that from any position, chaos can happen very quickly, so you need to be ready.